How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I got a very special video for you guys. Last week, if you guys didn't know, the Kona Spearfishing National Championship of 2023 took place, and it was an all-invasive tournament. So only Roy, Sapes, and Toals, and my friends, me, Lake, and Matt, we all went and we competed in that championship, in that tournament. And this video is going to be showing you guys how we did, you know, what we did, like what gear we used, what fish we shot. I mean, obviously it was top 8 Roys and Toals, but you know, how much fish we shoot, how well we did, and covering all of that as best as I could in the moment. I'll be honest, it was a little hard to film certain things because in big group settings, I don't really like busting out the camera in front of people's faces, especially when they're not expecting it. I just feel like it's not really my place unless I ask for it, but I didn't want to make things awkward. It was just really cool meeting people. So a lot of that stuff I didn't record, I didn't film, but all the spearfishing, all of us getting prepared for nationals on the actual date, all of that is going to be in this video. So stay tuned and I'll see you guys in the water. Shoots. It's about 10 o'clock at night, Wednesday, so last day before the actual competition. Tomorrow morning is the competition. The actual tournament starts at 8:30, so once it's 8:30, we're good to go. We're good to dive and, you know, shoot as many invasives as we can. But talking a little quiet because everybody else is sleeping. But yeah, we're just about ready. We just went over our plan for what we're gonna do, how we're gonna, you know, split up the workload between the three of us, and everything that we're gonna all the spots we're gonna hit that we scouted. Spent the last, well, not today, we took a rest day today, but Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, we scouted all 3 days, and so we covered a pretty big area. And we kind of have a good idea of where we're gonna go and what areas we're gonna hit the heaviest. But I'm about to go to sleep now, and I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Let's hope we can get her done. See how we go. Either way, no matter how well we do or whatever, it'll be super fun and a great experience. And it's already been super cool meeting everybody at the captain's meeting the other day. But yeah, so it should be super fun, and I'm excited, super excited. Also tired though, so I'm gonna get some rest and hopefully wake up in top shape tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning at the beach. Shoots. Should be on the table. Gear. Yaks. Yeah, so Lake, let's get her done. Alright guys, the second the clock hits 8:30, Matt, Blake, and I, we jump in the water. Within seconds, Blake and Matt had both found a Roy. And then within a minute, I found another one right here. He's sitting on the edge of this reef where it just becomes sand. And this was a spot that we had scouted and decided, you know what, in the beginning, it's best for us all to go here because we can really load up right at the start. And so I spot this big Roy here, line up and take my shot. This is my first fish of the day, and actually, I think one of my biggest fish of the day as well. And then if you look here, my spear didn't even go all the way through, but luckily I hit him in a hard place in his body, so that shaft wasn't gonna come out or anything. So the area we had to dive was about 4 miles long. So from the start point, it was 2 miles south, 2 miles north. So this guy right here, his name is Mirko, I think. He's not on my team, but there were so many guys diving in a relatively small area that a lot of times we were diving with somebody else or around somebody else that wasn't on our team. But you saw those two Roys that were hanging out with the one I just shot. This guy's one of them, went right back down for him. Now, if you'll notice, for those of you guys who've been watching my videos for a long time, for those OG subscribers, you probably recognize this gun. This is my Aimrite 90 centimeter, my first gun ever, the first gun I ever used on this channel. And if you look, I have it set up to where it's a single wrap and a single band. And the reason why I did that, obviously, it's way quicker to reload when you have a single wrap versus a double wrap. And also cutting a little bit off that reload time by loading only one 5/8 band, because that's all I really needed to do the trick. You can get real close to Roys, that's why, without, you know, spooking them or anything. You don't really have to stalk them, it's more of a dive bomb. And so you can get real close to them, especially when they sit still like that. And so I knew I didn't need that second band, and if I had it on there, it would be a distraction. And also if I wanted to load it, it would take extra time that I didn't need to take up. So I just went with a single band. And a short gun also, because like I said, close quarters shooting. Here I saw Roy go into this coral head somewhere, and I didn't know where he went. I was trying to find him. Then as I'm going up, he pops out right there. A couple of them actually pop out. Lined up. Got the nice stone shot on this guy. So I didn't record every fish, so this video is not going to include every single fish I shot because, well, that would be over 20 fish long, so 20 different clips. I wasn't about to do that, and it was all going to be Roys. There's Matt with his kui of Roys on his back there. But yeah, I wasn't about to film every single fish because, one, that would take up even more extra time, and I didn't want to do that either. Dropping down here on yet another Roy. This one was a small one, or small-ish one, but got him just barely by the side of his gill plate. And if you look, he has a bite mark all of a sudden on his side, and then the eel head pops out, almost gets me. And the funny thing is that eel actually got Mirko, the guy that I saw diving with me. It bit him on the fingers, and so he had to take a little breather to get that checked out, and that eel almost got me just then. If I hadn't seen the bite marks, I probably would have just left my hand there and just tried to grab him normally, but I really rushed it after I saw the bite marks because I knew, oh man, there's got to be an eel in there. So like I said, not super interesting, not a lot of stuff going on in this video. It's just a bunch of invasive species, but here's another one. Now you can see just how close you can get before you need to pull the trigger. Roys will sit still for a very, very long time. Usually, they'll sit still for a very, very long time. And by this point, it's about 9:45, I would say. Now this is all in our first spot. all the clips that you're seeing right now have been in this one zone. This is at the deepest around the edges of this patch of reef. It was maybe 50 to 60 feet, but most of it is in 40, 45-ish. There's another Roy right there. This guy gives me a hard time. He gets stuck a little bit, tangled up. But looking out for poohies and didn't see any, so still trying to be as quick as possible though, because they'll pop out of nowhere. So right here is fish number 10, and I told myself that I would do 10 fish per kui, and I brought 3 kuis total. So to make things faster, I would just fill up the kui, take the entire kui off, and then throw the whole stringer onto my kayak and just grab a completely new stringer. That way I didn't have to waste time with shaking fish off or anything like that. And our whole thing was every little bit of time we could save. There's me signifying 5-5, 10 down. And so right here I'm throwing the whole kui right onto the kayak. And then I used my life jacket. I didn't want to put too much extra weight on the kayak and slow myself down, so I didn't bring a fish bag, but what I did was put the life jacket over and then splash it with water every so often. Here's a big toile that I shot in a hole. I moved spots after I got that last Roy there. But I found a hole that had a few toiles in it, so I shot a few out of it. There's the first one. One of the biggest toiles I've ever shot, actually. Then going back down on the same hole. Just kind of waiting for one to pop his head out and give me a shot. Now, ideally, I would be not wasting too much time stalking fish and spending a lot of time on the bottom. But in this case, you know, I kind of had to, because if I went up right in front of the hole, the toiles would get scared and then dive in. But one comes out here, gives me a shot. Another decent sized toile. So here reloading, like I said, with the one band takes a little bit extra time or a little bit less time off of your reload. And all of these little things to help save yourself some time seem to be the best way to go, because it adds up eventually and you save a lot of time. But dropping down here, pretty sure this is gonna be another Roy. So right after I shot those first 10 fish and I put them up on my kui, I was sitting on my kayak getting ready to change spots, and my mask strap snapped at the clip. And I'll show you guys more at the end of this video what exactly happened and how I had to fix it. But essentially I lost about an hour of time right in the middle right between 10 and 11 o'clock, I lost all of that time. And when I jumped back in, my partners were saying they weren't seeing any fish. And sure enough, swimming around, I barely found anything else. I didn't film anything else. And so I lost a lot of extra time that I could have had just because my mask failed and I didn't bring an extra one. So, but yeah, I'll go more into that towards the end of the video, but here's us getting out the water. Yes, up, boys. Woo! Action, action, action. Come on. Look at this camel. Hold them both up. Yes, hammer.
Quite a fall. Big smile, big smile. What's in it, boys?
Right there, Chislers.
Let's see the team.
Alright guys, so really quickly before we wrap up this video, I just gotta show you what happened to me while we were out on the water. So we're diving the horde rings, we're diving, I shot like maybe 11 roys and various 12, whatever. Right in the beginning, within the first, so we jumped in 8:30, I dove until about 10 o'clock, and then when I went up, I threw all my fish of the first kui onto my kayak, and then after that I dove around a little more, wasn't seeing too many fish, so I was gonna hop on my kayak and then paddle somewhere else. But when I was leaning on my kayak, just, you know, taking a breather for a second, and then all of a sudden I feel the strap of my mask sliding across the back of my head. Now if you look on this side is the side that didn't break. You can see right here, the clip is held into this little rubber piece right there, and that's how the clip is held in, and the clip holds the rest of the strap, obviously. Now I managed to fix it, and so I got a little bit of extra time at the end, but here, I just got to show you guys what I had to fix and what I had to deal with. All right, so like I showed you, this little rubber tab right here holds in the clip. There's a pin inside of this clip that goes through a hole that they designed into it's a little hole inside the rubber tab, and then that that pin goes through it and holds the clip in place. Now, if you look on the side that ripped, that's where the hole used to be. So it used to come over like this into a little rounded piece right here, and there was a little hole right there. And as you can see, that thing is pretty torn up. So what happened was that the pin, I guess, was pulling onto the tab too much, and over time, I didn't even notice it, but over time it was ripping more and more until on the one day it wasn't supposed to, it tore out and my mask was broken. So if you look, like, this is the strap, this is what's left. It's not like I could tie it. So what I had to do was, I was sitting on my kayak, and I was, for a moment, I'll admit, I was freaking out. I was panicking. I was like, you know, my dive is over. I didn't bring an extra mask, which in hindsight, I should have assumed that something was gonna go wrong. But I just didn't, because this mask has never failed me in the past before. And of course, the one day I needed to not fail, that's when it fails. But I should have anticipated it, and I was sitting on my kayak, I was beating myself up for it. I was like, damn, what am I gonna do? And then I thought the only thing I could do, I would have to at least try to fix it. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, because like I said, not like I could tie it, not like I could do much anything besides, you know, try something else to fix it. So eventually, what I landed on was, like I said, this pin right here. This is what the pin looks like. And that goes into the clip. The top of the clip goes through. You see there's a hole. Now the mask, the tab feeds in through this little slot right here. The pin goes through, pins the mask in place. So that's how it goes. But what I decided to do was, because I needed a hole there, I decided I was gonna try and poke my own hole. The only problem was I didn't have a knife on me. I just brought a cuy, because I figured the cuy's sharp enough, I can just brain fish with the cuy and then I'll be fine. So I didn't bring a knife, but I took one of my cuys. I mean, the cuys, I don't know where they're at right now, but they're pretty sharp. And so I spent a good 20 minutes trying to poke a big enough hole. You can see kind of some of the damage I did on the back end there. And the only problem is, because it's rubber, even if I make a hole, it seals itself, so I can't see the hole. And also the clip here isn't made to go that far down the tab. It's only meant to go a certain distance. The way it's designed, I really had to push it. And so it took me, honestly, from the time that it first broke to the time where I finally figured out what I was gonna do and then finally executed it, it took me maybe 50 minutes to an hour. It took me a long time, because I kept trying to put the pin through, but it wouldn't go because the hole was too far down the rubber tab. So as you can see, it only goes that far naturally. I mean, I know it's hard to see a little bit because it's black, but it only goes a certain distance naturally. So I really had to force it down, then hold it in place, and then put the pin through the hole that I made. And eventually, you know, luckily I did it. There was also a rubber tab in here that was part of the clip. If I opened up this clip, you'd be able to see it, but I had to take that out, and it was like attached in there, so I had to rip it out and then, you know, try again. And I tried a whole bunch of times. It took me forever. I kept having to make the hole bigger. I tried to make the hole a little bit higher up on the tab, but it took me forever. And then by the time I jumped back in the water, it was like, it was like 10:50, 11 o'clock-ish, super late. I wasted a whole lot of time, jumped back in the water, did the best I could for the time I had left. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, stuff happens, and if I ever do this again, definitely lesson learned. Gonna bring an extra mask, extra fins, extra everything, because you never know what could go wrong. And when you least want it, when you need it when you need everything to be perfect, something's gonna go wrong. And in my case, it did, and I paid the price for it, honestly. But you know, who knows? It's not a guarantee that if I had that extra time, it would have done me any better. But you know, I still would have liked to have had that opportunity to try and find out. But it is what it is. I just wanted to show you guys that, to show you what happened to me. And if you guys ever do nationals, bring an extra mask. Learn from my mistake, bring an extra mask. But yeah, it is what it is. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that. like I said, I apologize for not recording as much at the banquet and the captain's meeting. I just felt like, you know, I was meeting a lot of people for the first time, and for me to walk up to them, busting out a camera, starting to record immediately, and for that to be their first impression of me, I feel like it might make people a little uncomfortable, you know, especially if you're not used to being on camera, which, I mean, I assume some people are, or it would catch them off guard, and I just didn't want to make people uncomfortable, didn't want to make things weird, especially when it was the first time meeting them, and, you know, I feel like it would make the conversation seem a little more disingenuous. Everything's recorded, so I didn't want to do that to the people that I was meeting, especially because I was meeting some legends that I was honestly starstruck by, and so I put the camera aside for most of those interactions. But I did meet a lot of cool people. I had met Ryan Myers already. I went diving with him once, but Justin Lee I met for the first time. I met Kimmy Warner for the first time. Mike Jutt, met him. Just a lot of cool guys and women, a lot of cool divers, super good spearfishermen and spearfisherwomen. And saw some old friends as well. Spencer Haskins, I saw him again. Was cool to see him and his family. And then I also met one of my personal favorite diver of all time, Hanale Adric, one of the guys that watching him on YouTube got me into diving and into making videos. Was that guy right there. So that was super cool. Definitely the coolest person to meet at this tournament. So yeah, super awesome experience. And I also had a lot of people who I didn't expect, like really good spearfishermen and spearfisherwomen. Like I said, guys and girls coming up to me saying that they watch my videos, that they support what I'm doing, and that told me to keep up the good work. And that honestly made me feel incredible to have these people that I look up to saying that they enjoy what I put out and they've seen what I've been doing. And it was just really, really awesome to see that and to hear that, and really gave me encouragement to keep going and keep making these videos, because man, it's a great feeling. And of course it's great to receive compliments from people who are on the level of diving that these guys are. And so it was just an awesome experience. And also, of course, diving with Matt and Blake, scouting with them, preparing everything, writing up a plan, following that plan, also really cool, and definitely something way different than anything I've ever done before. And you know, in my opinion, we did pretty good. We finished with a 6th place, or we finished at 6th place. There were about 20 teams, I think, 20 or 22 teams, and to get 6 out of those 22 was just incredible. We didn't make top 5, and I did feel super bad because my mask broke and I wasn't able to produce as many fish as Matt and Blake did. I lost a lot of time, and that was totally on me for not bringing an extra mask and being prepared for something going wrong. But you know, it is what it is. They told me it was all right. They said it's not my fault. But yeah, we were still, despite the setbacks, we were still able to finish at 6. And honestly, for our nationals debut, couldn't be happier. That was super sick to almost make the top 5, made the top 10. And man, it was just an awesome experience. Had a ton of fun, and I would definitely do it again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm back on Oahu now, so I'll be producing more videos for you guys very, very soon. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoots!